Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The date is September 20th, 2021. The time is now 7 o'clock p.m. I call to order a public hearing. We have two ordinances this evening that we'll have public hearing on before we begin the City Council meeting, Ordinance 1059 and Ordinance 1060. So the first public hearing will be on Ordinance 1059, titled Amending and Restating Chapter 49, Critical Area Program. An ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Havre Grace adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre Grace City Charter, for the purpose of amending and restating Chapter 49, Critical Areas, of the Havre Grace City Code and adopting the digital critical area maps as referenced in the ordinance. At this time, I will call upon any member of the public who is here to speak for Ordinance 1059. Are there any comments from council on Ordinance 1059? Okay, without public comment or council comments, I now declare public hearing on Ordinance 1059 to be closed. The time is 7:02. We will move on to public hearing for Ordinance 1060, titled Amending Chapter 25, Article 6, Economic Development Advisory Board. An ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Havre Grace adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Section 33 and 34 of the Havre Grace City Charter, for the purpose of amending City Code 25, Article 6, Economic Development Advisory Board. At this time, are there any members in the audience here to speak on Ordinance 1060? Any comments from the council? Okay. Without public comment or comments from the council, I now declare public hearing on Ordinance 1060 to be closed. The time is now 7:03. I call to order a meeting at Havre Grace City Council and the mayor, and the date is September 20th, 2021. The time is now 7:04 p.m. I will call the roll. Council President Glenn.
Here.
Councilmember Ringsager.
Here.
Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Boyer.
Here.
Councilmember Zinner.
Here.
Councilmember Robertson.
Here.
All council members present and accounted for. Please join me, everybody, for the Pledge of Allegiance and opening prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I could kindly ask everybody to remain standing, I'd like to call forward Pastor Adam Barnes of Restored Church. Good evening, Pastor, and we're honored to have you here tonight. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, and it's my pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members, for this opportunity. Would you bow your heads for a moment of prayer with me? Heavenly Father, I ask that you would bless this meeting tonight and keep us, that you would make your face shine upon us and be gracious to us. I pray that we'd feel your presence during this meeting as you are with us wherever we go. I thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today for your many abundant blessings. I pray for our mayor, our various levels of city officials, and in particular this assembled council. I'm asking, God, that you be gracious to them and grant them wisdom to govern amid conflicting interests and issues in our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confident in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there's honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives, and joy in their tasks. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give them the assurance of your grace and to all those who live and work in our beloved community of Havre Grace. Bless this meeting today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pastor Barnes, it means a lot. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure.
Mr. Mayor, before we move forward, I'd like to make a friendly amendment to pull recognitions, number 8, off the agenda for this evening. Let's protect the pause.
So scratch item 8 from the agenda, correct?
Correct.
8A. Okay, any objections from council? None? Okay. All right, we will remove protect the pause. Not a problem. Save it. Pause should remain unprotected. Thank you very much. Thank you, Council President. Anything else?
Good.
Okay. Okay, we're going to go at item number 5, approval of the minutes from the City Council meeting September 7th, 2021. Council, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Ringsager, seconded by Councilmember Martin. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. City Council minutes for the September 7th, 2021 council meeting carry 6-0, or approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Item B, City Council closed session minutes from September 7th, 2021. Council, I have a motion to approve the closed session minutes.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Zinner, seconded by Councilmember Ringsager. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. City Council closed session minutes of September 7, 2021 are approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Okay, we're going to go to item number 6, which is comments from citizens. And just want to let the citizens know that we have changed our format. And this is the first, we've talked about it at the last couple meetings, but this is the first meeting which we're going to do something new. Normally in the past, we would do comments from citizens on agenda items first. That were just geared to things on the agenda. And at the end of the meeting, we had a citizen comment form for general city business. But what we're going to do moving forward is we're moving up citizen comments to one place on the agenda. So it can be either agenda items or random city business you wish to talk about or speak to the council about. So I do have 2 pre-filled out forms. I'm going to call upon the speakers first to these pre-filled out forms. Then after that, I will call on the audience at large if anybody has any other matters of city business or anything else they want to speak to about on the agenda, if that all makes sense. So first person I'd like to call up is George Suppley? Suppley, okay, sorry. I remember you were here last time. I had the same problem, sorry. Welcome, sir, back to the City Council meeting. May you please have your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Thank you. It's George Sept. I'm slip holder number 120 in Tidings Park.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman members. I just wanted to find out what the status is on the dredging, if there is any status on the dredging of the marina. I know there was probably some soundings done. There was some scuttlebutt in the marina about something to do with soundings, I guess, of the marina. I just wasn't sure.
Yes, sir.
What else
Well, I remember you here not too long ago. You came to City Council meeting, and we told you what we knew at that time, but I think we have an update. Either Tim? Okay.
So we've actually gone ahead and hired.
Microphone, Mr. Woody. Thank you.
We have hired an engineer, Bayland, and they are beginning the engineering project on the dredging. We have secured the funding for both the engineering costs as well as the dredging costs. So the plan is to try to move ahead with design and get the project started probably in the winter before the migration, fish migration. So sometime in the winter, December, January timeframe to start dredging. I do need to get permission for the use the DMP site at Swan Harbor Farms, and we've made that request. We did a survey to determine there is adequate capacity for the project, and we are waiting for the county just to go ahead to be able to utilize their DMP site at Swan Harbor Farms. So for all intents and purposes, it's basically a go, and we're moving forward with it to try to get it accomplished, like I said, by the winter to get moving. The permits themselves are already obtained. From the last dredging, the permit itself actually carried over, so it hasn't expired yet. So we're gonna do the work. So we don't need to go through and get all the permits redone. We're just gonna carry on with the existing permit that we have in place. That's where we're at.
One other question I got for you. Are you planning on doing the whole marina instead of the...
Plan right now is to do the channel and all the slips. Yes.
Okay, because that's
That's the game plan for now.
because the last 2 storms I guess we had since the last time I was here a month ago. We had those 2 big storms, and of course the river got inundated with mud and everything else. It has since then silted in the marina even more. Now it's, now it's mid to high tide is the only time that we can get out basically without having problems. Because it was 2 weeks ago I came in it's about 2 hours before low tide, and before I could get into my slip, my engines both overheated because they sucked up so much silt in them that I ended up just pulling into my slip. Not the ability even to back in with the alarms going off so much. So that's what I'm just trying to get an idea of what was going on. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. I'd like to call forward Mr. David Wilson. Good evening, Mr. Wilson, and welcome to the City Council meeting. May you please have your name and address for the record?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. David Wilson, 109 Paradise Drive, Havre, Grace.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, same as last time, George took a lot of the thunder away from my questions, so I don't have as much to ask, except that there seems to be some ambiguity about the slip fee increase fee. I understand that is it a proposal or is it an actual increase? And what is that increase?
It's an actual increase. It's $7 a foot.
Okay, so it is firm. The other thing I was going to ask about is your Marina Commission meetings. Usually they're posted online, and the last thing we can find from that is November of 20.
Go ahead,
If I can.
Councilmember.
Actually, we will be having one next month. I'm looking at, I think it was the 6th. Here, I have to get cooperation from the Marina Commission members when they can make it. But we will be putting together all the end of the season stuff, discuss the end of the boating season, other issues, the dredging, and improvements on the park. We have had meetings since then. I don't know why it wasn't on there, but I'll make sure that it's posted on there. It'll be, like I said, either the first or second week of October, and then in November we'll have a presentation here. That's probably what you found was the presentation from last year. What was on there. So.
Okay, thank you. And also, Mr. Whitty, just a question. You said the funding had been secured for the dredging. Is that a grant, a DNR grant?
Funding from, yes, it's all grant money from DNR. We have secured. We're just ready to go.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Boyer.
I just want to encourage the people who come in to talk about what's happening down at the marina area. Absolutely keep coming in to talk to us, but you could help us also by bringing these issues up at the county level and at the state level. The more we talk and keep the word going on about all of the impacts happening with the silt coming down from Pennsylvania, the better off we are, even going to the federal level. So absolutely keep coming here, but make sure that you spread their message out. It'd be very helpful to us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyer. Any other comments from council?
I'm good.
Okay, now we will, these are the only 2 pre-filled out forms I have. Now I will call on anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on any matter of any business at all, agenda or not agenda. Sir. Oh. Welcome, sir. If we can just have your name and address for the record, and welcome.
How you doing? Ryan Wilson, 304 Superior Street, Havre, Grace. Just to follow up with, you were saying that you were approved to dump the spoils in Swan Harbor for the reservoir.
The DMP set up there, we went and did a survey to ensure that we have.
We went and did a survey to ensure that we have capacity at the DMP, and I wrote a letter basically providing the survey and the capacity results to the Parks and Rec, Paul Magnus, and I'm waiting back, because it is their property, just waiting back for an approval from them to be able to utilize the DMP site.
So my question is, was that capacity going to be approved for the full maximum 6 feet dredge?
We're estimated for the slips and the channel that's about 27,000 cubic yards, and there is capacity in the DMP site for 27,000 cubic yards at this.
And that's the amount for 6 feet?
That is
more?
the 6 foot, that does the slips and the channel.
Okay, I just want to make sure
Yes.
we'll get the full 6 feet so we can not run into issues right before the next dredge afterwards.
No, we're going the full 6 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Woody. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak? Sir. Good evening, sir, and welcome. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Josh Argentino, slip number 123 in Havre, Grace.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. So with the $6 increase, what can we expect to see at the marina? That's going to be an upgrade. Are we going to get Wi-Fi or anything, or is it like
$7 increase per
$7
foot.
increase? Okay.
Well, one of the things we need to guarantee is that we replace things like the aging gas dispensers. We need to replace the fuel tanks. The bulkhead's going to need replacement. Now, hand off Mr. Gamatore. What else is coming down the pike?
I think primarily those were the top hitters, and what we're looking at is the, over the last 20 years, in 2009 there was a study done in the marina where there was a set amount of reserves that should have been put in, sort of like a condo association. You put in reserves to replace the roof, the walls, and that sort of thing. The reserves that are currently in the Fund 8, the Marina Fund, are going to get chewed up. It's about $800,000 with the underground storage tanks and the dispensers. That'll pretty much take that the reserves down to almost net zero. So the increase is primarily to get the reserves built back up. So the marina, I'm not sure that we ever met, but just so you understand, the marina is a separate, called an enterprise fund. So that fund, those funds and the tax funds of the property taxes, they don't get commingled. The marina has to be a standalone operation similar to the water sewer fund.
Gotcha.
So we anticipate in the coming years, just based on the work that's going to be needed at the marina and the ability to raise funds to meet those needs, that we probably will have to do a loan from probably Fund 1, the general fund, over to Fund 8 to get that work done. You'll notice at the area, I guess would be east of the gas pier, the bulkheading, the roadway, everything's starting to sink. So that bulkheading is going to have to be shored back up and rebuilt. You know, if you're a boater and you're doing anything down in the anything to do with boating, there's nothing cheap when we talk about marina work. So that's primarily what that increase was, and quite frankly, the 2009 study that was done really spoke to a systematic increase over the next 10, 11, 12, up to 20 years. It wasn't done. I think there was maybe a single increase or two. I don't recall, council may. But that was at a sort of flat line for the last, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. So this first slug is sort of like a catch-up to try to get the fund built back up. $7 is a lot of money. I get that. But as far as when you look at how that extrapolates out to the fund each year, it's really not a whole lot of money when we're talking about, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 projects.
Yeah.
I hope that answered it for you.
Yeah, it does. Are they, well, now that I got you, so we all kind of want to become a part of this marina committee. I've spent a couple years there now, and I love this town. I love everything about this town. I love the marina. I love downtown. And as I've grown up, I want to be more of a part of it. And now that we're kind of seeing what's going on, we want to be more involved. And so that's why we're asking questions about the Marina Committee and that kind of thing. So
Yes, so the Marina Commission is actually a commission through an ordinance of the city, Chapter 25 of the City Code, speaks to different commissions and advisory boards to the mayor. So by that ordinance, the mayor then has a Marina Commission that is selected, you serve for a period of time. There's the details of how it works, the selection process. And generally, the selection process is if you fill out a form that's online, a city form, and then it gets submitted to the mayor's office, and he discusses typically with the Marina Commission liaison, which is Councilmember Ringsacker at this time. Sort of changes could change year to year, so it's different council members. And then from that point, if the commission members' time is up for their service, then a new commission member will be brought on. I can't speak to anything more than that as far as.
Well,
where the
they're open
where
to the
cycle
public,
is.
so if the public wants to watch,
Yeah, yeah.
they're welcome to watch the Marine Commissions, and if anybody wants to be a part of the Marine Commission, like Director of Administration said, if we have an opening available, submit an online form and submit it to my office.
Cool.
Sure.
Is there any other things in the pipeline for like Wi-Fi down there in the park that you know about?
You want to speak to that, Councilman?
The discussion has come up from Economic Development Advisory Board about the possibility of using, adding Wi-Fi. We don't necessarily want to offer services like that for the city park. It's more of a utility in that sense. We'd have to figure out how to get the cable service, the Wi-Fi down there, and then go user by user to allow them to pay for the service. Just the extent of the administrative costs and the trying to figure out who's got the accounts and everything else would be extensive. And I have heard from several people, but I've also heard from several other people who don't feel it's necessary because everybody has a phone nowadays.
Yeah, it's true.
And you know, it's not something that the city's not really in the business of offering those types of utilities. We're water and sewer, type of person,
Yeah.
type of a business. So it's something we have discussed. It's not out of the question, but it will have to go through the Marina Commission, and then we'll offer our recommendations to the mayor and to the council if that's how we want to proceed. But it has been recommended by the Economic Development Advisory Board.
Cool, thank you.
Sir.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right, thank you. We are still under item 6, comments from citizens. Anyone else wish to speak? Sir. Good evening and welcome to the city council meeting. May you please have your name and address for the record?
Charles Mike, 1413 Superior Street, Havre, Grace.
Welcome.
Thank you. First, I want to commend you for having the citizen speak placed earlier in the meeting instead of at the very end. It's very good for those of us who had to get up early. So, I have a comment. I sent an email down to you guys a week or so ago. I was very disappointed at the last meeting when I saw that you voted to appeal the judge's decision in the pencil litigation case. It's just extending that lawsuit more and more and spending a lot more of my taxpayer dollars, citizens' taxpayer dollars, on this really unnecessary item. That lawsuit should have been settled amicably a while ago, and it was not. And for whatever reason. But that's, that's a lot of money you guys are spending, and you're going to be spending going forward. And my question is, when you voted on that last week, or last meeting, was all the council made aware of the amount of money that has been spent on this lawsuit up to that point? Or is every one of these council members, do you know the amount of money that's been spent on that lawsuit?
Council President, I can't speak for the council. Council President?
I mean, the lawsuit, one, wasn't submitted by the city of Havre Grace. It was against the city of Havre Grace. So when that happened, they came to us, and basically we had to go through the process of protecting the city assets. The reason why that we moved forward for that lawsuit or the appeal is the judge made a decision of what we could and couldn't do with our city park. Now, that city park was in place prior to the Pencils ever building their house.
But that city park did not include Congress Avenue. That city park was the grounds, not the street. You've taken that street and made it a park.
No, we didn't.
No, that's not
No,
true.
we didn't.
No, that's what their objection is to.
No, and the thing is that when the judge said that we couldn't even have our farmer's market down there, I mean, when we moved the farmer's market down there, the farmers were ecstatic. I mean, it was a beautiful venue with the backdrop of the water. They enjoyed it down there. We were trying to support our farmers in that venue. And again, the judge, for whatever reason, made that decision, which we think, is stealing the rights of our citizens away for what they can and can't do at the park.
It wasn't the farmers markets, no, it's the concerts that did it.
I'm telling you right now.
And why are you competing? We just spent, the citizens voted, and I voted for it, $1 million plus to finish off the Opera House, and now you're competing against the Opera House by putting concerts down there, which are annoying the neighborhood.
It's run by the same organization, the Havre Arts Collective.
It doesn't matter, it's the same organization. Why are you competing against the Opera House?
It's not competing against the Opera House.
Yes, it is.
I want to refer to the city attorney. Didn't the decision from the judge specifically state the farmer's market? Didn't the verdict that came from the judge specifically state the farmer's market? That we couldn't have the farmer's market down there?
Yeah, the part of the issue, there were two issues going on in that lot, well, three. We'll leave the northern property out for the moment, but with regard to the southern property adjoining the park, there were two issues. One, whether access was blocked to the parking area of Hutchins Park, and two, whether there was a noise disturbance sufficient to create a private nuisance. And so it's one thing if specific events constituted a nuisance or not. That can be determined on a case-by-case basis. In this case, there were no damages proven whatsoever. So the court took it upon itself, based on the evidence presented, that even though we proved that each special event is approved at an open meeting of the city council, any citizen can come and object to an event, and that the adjoining landowners never came to any city council meeting to object to any of the events at all, or before or after, that it was the public's right to know that if there are concerns, they would be brought before the public body in public. That never happened. But in spite of that, the court decided that it could decide for the city council going forward which events can and shouldn't be in the park, held in the park. That usurps, in my legal opinion, which is the basis for the appeal, the city council's role in approving in a public forum what events go on in the city park system. The city parks are there held in public trust for all citizens, not just the adjoining landowners, for all citizens. That's why the special events are approved in front of the public body. So it was the nature of the judge's opinion that could set a very bad precedent. I will tell you that any citizen who has lots of money to spend on downtown Baltimore City legal law firms that charge a heck of a lot more than I do, to bring the city to its knees with any lawsuit if they disagreed with a special event approved here at a public body, which goes against the nature of the purpose of the elected city council. So if you can, as a private citizen, disagree with that, you did make a public information request for that information, and I will be working with Mr. DeHorty to get that to you. And you should ask the other side what they charged or what they paid in a case where they had no monetary damages and none were awarded.
Well, the point is, you have many parks to choose from, as you're using now. And that park, again, I go back, I don't think those people would have had, and I don't know this for a fact, I don't think those people would have objected until you started having the concerts down there and the loud music. And then they throw on top of that the blocking, the Oktoberfest you have down there and the constant blocking of the passageway. Congress Avenue goes to that park. That park was made not to include Congress Avenue, and that's a fact. For my lifetime, all the big city events have been at Tidings Park. That's the focal point of Havre Grace City events. Now they've moved a little bit over to the lighthouse, which is fine. And now you guys have moved away to, for whatever reason, having your events down there. And you've got a couple private residents there, you've got some businesses there, and those people are objecting to it. As you can see from your attendance, I mean, a lot of people don't come down here. I don't like coming down here and pitching fit from time to time. I will give you kudos when you do the good stuff, and I'll try to raise a flag when there's something I don't agree with.
Mr. Mike, I want to leave you with one final thought, though, on the chronology, that Hutchins Park was included in the city's Arts and Entertainment District in 2008.
That's only because you guys made it an
And the
ordinance.
house was built in 2010. So they should have known what they're moving next to. They were moving next to a festival park that was part of our comprehensive plan, go back to 1996, that the park would be used for events and entertainment and festivals as an economic engine for the downtown Havre Grace. The city council brought it into the Arts and Entertainment District in 2008, and the pencil pulled a building permit in September 2010.
Well, let me go back to my first
So
question.
tents and festivals and farmers market was all part of what the citizens wanted that park to be used for, because they had a chance to speak up in 96 and they supported it. And in 2008, the citizens supported it.
Well,
And so we could not appeal it, or else we would be giving up all the land, the rights of the citizens.
you're not
to
giving
control
up the
it.
land. You still have a beautiful park down there that a lot of citizens use. You're giving
which
up the
parks-
right, you're
which
giving up
parks
the
should we
right
get
to
rid
hold your
of?
parties.
Which
Excuse me.
parks should we get rid of?
Excuse me.
Which
Thank
ones
you.
should we get rid of? Tell me what parks we should get rid of, and
Don't
tell
get
me
rid of a
what we
park.
can do
I'm
in our
saying you
parks.
do not use the
'Cause
street.
thank God you're not mayor or an elected official, because you would have given away everything. And not settle amicably? You don't think we'd try to settle amicably? You know what their settlement was? Here's what their settlement was. Their settlement was that they have a say on what goes on in the park, and the tent comes down. You know who has a say on what goes on in the park? The council elected by the people, not people with money that can afford a lawyer.
Well, Mr.
Now,
Mayor,
prove your point again.
Look at your voter turnouts for the last 6 years. This voter apathy in this town has gone down the drain, and it's a shame. It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And just look at it. And now you're sitting here arguing with me. I want to bring a point, and I want to go back to my question.
You mislead the
are you
public all the
council- are you
time, Mr.
council
Mike,
member-
with your
you-
distorted
you-
facts.
do you
I
want-
always
I'm
distorted
not distorting the
facts.
fact. What facts am I distorting?
Go ahead.
Why are you interrupting me when I'm making a statement? I want to ask, how many of you council members know the dollar amount that we are spending?
Every 2 weeks, an expenditure list is put into county office, or our city council office. They know all the check runs. Isn't that true, Council President? This council knows all the expenditures they wish to know about.
All they wish to know about. Did you tell them how much? Guys?
Every
you're gonna go
check that's cut
with that? Okay.
is put on that expenditure list. Whether they go in and read it or not, that's up, I can't speak for them. But this administration puts every single check that's cut into that read file.
And one other key point, you brought up a point about the concerts. Since we have the Opera House, and since we have the State Theater downtown, we very rarely have run concerts down at Hutchins Park. In fact, the only concert that we've had is the 4th of July concert. And oh, by the way, in the judge's decision, he said, we could still do that.
Right.
We could still do the 4th of July concert. We just couldn't do farmers markets. And I may not be the sharpest tool in the toolbox, but I got to tell you, when you say you could do a 4th of July concert down there, but when you have you can't do a farmers market, which is not going to produce a lot of noise or disruption to the city or to that area, I have a hard time understanding that. You know, and I think the judge was overstepping his bounds, and the reason why that I personally, I can't speak for every council member, but the reason why I voted for the appeal is because I felt like that judge was taking away a right of our citizens. And I feel like that I got elected to go to bat for the citizens of this community and try to do the right thing for the right reason, and that's why I voted the way I did.
At no cost.
Huh?
And the cost doesn't matter. The dollar amount doesn't matter.
No, it's a shame that it costs the citizens money to defend its own property. But if we don't appeal, then what's the next park we lose? Maybe some people down at Tidings Park don't want any events, and they get a high-powered lawyer, and the judge does the same thing. I'm surprised you're actually upset with us and not upset with people who are frivolously suing your city government.
No, I'm not upset with them.
Okay, obviously.
They're protecting the entranceway not only to their house, but to Tidewater Marina. That marina has meant a lot to the city over the years, tax dollars and business-wise.
Mr. Shea?
I was personally approached by people at the farmer's market, the vendors, who said that the slip holders at the marina actually buy their groceries from the market. So they will be deprived now from that service.
And they'll buy them whether they're there or whether they're up the street or whether they're at another spot.
Then it becomes who makes the determination, the individuals or the elected officials? And there is a forum for each event that is here. If there was a groundswell of people screaming about not wanting the farmer's market there, I'm sure the council members would have taken it under consideration. And the point is about the process and who gets to make that decision.
Understood. Thank you. Anyway, I have the form that you request me to fill out, to try and find out how much we really are spending, and it doesn't have to be exact, and you don't spend a lot of money on it, and I'll give it to Mr. Gamatore. Any other comments? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak to council on any matter of city business? Any comments from the council?
I'm good.
Okay. We'll go to item number 7, appointments. This evening we have a few appointments. We have Economic Development Advisory Board appointments, and we have Tree Commission appointments. We'll hand off the first set of appointments to the liaison to the Economic Development Advisory Board, Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to reappoint Terry Kearney, Lisa Robinson, Lisa Scott Coleman, and Beadle Smith to the Economic Development Advisory Board.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson, seconded by Councilmember Boyer. This is for the reappointment to Economic Development Advisory Board for Terry Kearney, Ms. Lisa Robinson, Ms. Lisa Scott Coleman, and Mr. Beadle Smith. Questions or comments on the reappointment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Reappointment to the Economic Development Advisory Board for Terry Kearney, Lisa Robinson, Lisa Scott Coleman, Beadle Smith is approved, 6-0 in affirmative by the council. Item number B, Councilmember Boyer.
Mayor, I make a motion to reappoint Mr. Jim McFarland and Ms. Kathleen O'Brien to the Tree Commission.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, seconded by the Council President. This is for the reappointment of Mr. Jim McFarland and Kathleen O'Brien to the Tree Commission. Question or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Reappointment of Mr. Jim McFarland and Ms. Kathleen O'Brien to the Tree Commission carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Item number 8, recognitions. This evening, we had one, but we withdrew it from the agenda. We have none. Item number 9, proclamations. We do have one proclamation, and we were going to try to hand it off at the previous council meeting to a gentleman who works with a addiction recovery clinic, but he wasn't able to make it this evening or last time or this evening. But September is National Recovery Month, and the City of Havre Grace always supports the recognition of this month. And so if you will, council will indulge me about maybe a minute and a half, I'd like to read this into the record. City of Havre Grace, Maryland, Proclamation, National Recovery Month. Whereas recovery from mental and substance use disorders, including co-occurring disorders, is an essential part of health and one's overall wellness. And whereas treatment and recovery services for mental and substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders is effective, and people can recover in our area and around the nation. And whereas addressing and overcoming mental and substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders is essential to achieving healthy lifestyles, both physically and emotionally. And whereas we must encourage relatives and friends of people with mental and substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders to implement preventative measures, recognize the signs of a problem, and encourage those in need of help to seek appropriate treatment and recovery support services. And whereas to help more people with lived experience achieve and sustain recovery, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, along with the Havre de Grace City Council, invite all residents to participate in National Recovery Month. Now therefore, I, William T. Martin, Mayor of the City of Havre de Grace, along with the entire Havre de Grace City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2021 as National Recovery Month. In the City of Havre de Grace, we call upon all citizens to observe the purple uplighting of our downtown businesses district from Monday, September 13th through Sunday, September 19th, in support of this year's Recovery Month theme, and join the Voices for Recovery, Together We Are Stronger, and to celebrate the 32nd anniversary of Recovery Month observance. Council, thank you very much for allowing me to read that into the record. I will hand this to Director of Administration. Okay, we're going to go on to item number 9 on this evening's agenda. I'm sorry, 10, item number 10. And item number 10 is presentations. And this evening's presentation will be an update on the redistricting map and some more explanation and detail. So, Council President, I'm actually going to step down from the dais, give the presentation. I will be facing the camera, so if any council member wants to get off the dais and see it, that's fine, or you probably already know that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're under item number 10 on this evening's agenda, presentations. This evening I thought I'd hop off the dais and come down and explain a little better in front of the camera what's been going on the last couple months with redistricting. I know a lot of people have heard a lot about it. It's been in the newspaper a lot lately, in the Aegis. There's been articles. So, quick little background. Everybody knows, according to the United States Constitution, every 10 years a census is taken nationally. One of the biggest reasons we take a census is to figure out the proportionate allocation of your representatives and House representatives in Congress. That also stands true for state level and county level as well. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is county level redistricting. Every 10 years, and for us it's on the twos, 2002, 2012, 2022, a recommendation is made to the county council on how to draw up the 6 districts of Harford County. And these districts will determine where your representation is, or who your representative is, and where your particular house falls in that grand scheme of things. So the map I have in front of me is the current Harford County Council District map. You have District A, B, C, D, E, and F. And this is the one that we currently use in Harford County. This concept came about around 2001. It was tweaked a little bit in 2011, but it's currently the one that's in use. The city of Havre de Grace right now is in District F. District F is gray, if you can see it out on your home TV here. So Aberdeen is in District E, Bel Air is in District C, Joppa Edgewood is in District A, Falston Mountain Road area is in District B, and then Northern Harford County is all across the top tier here. So let's take a good look at this map. So first of all, is my sound good there, Mr.? Okay, good. So let's talk a little bit about American history. There's a man who once lived, his name was Elbridge Gerry. He was a Massachusetts governor. And in 1812, the most famous thing that he ever did, he actually really didn't do a whole lot other than one law he signed into effect. When it came, as governor of Massachusetts in 1812, he signed a law that made the districts of Boston look like a mythological salamander. It was so chopped up and carved up in order to preserve people's voting districts and their party districts, that practice of carving up districts to suit a political party purpose or an incumbent purpose became known as gerrymandering, named after Elbridge Gerry. So when I say the word gerrymandered, this is a really good example of what gerrymandering is. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole background of the subjectiveness of this map, but let's just look for what it is. We live here. This is the Havre de Grace area. It stops at Aberdeen. But then it picks up again in what is now Riverside and Abingdon is the other part of our district. So in essence, now they say all councilmanic districts have to be continuous or contiguous in their connection. It's a stretch to think that this is contiguous to APG. There really is no direct natural line. However, you can get in on a car and go on I-95 and drive a pretty good distance just to get back into your own district, skipping over entirely the city of Aberdeen. So the whole point of making council districts, the whole point of making any elected district in what we call representative democracy is to put people in the most principled, like-minded, area that they can call similar. That's the whole point of representative democracy. We are a republic. So we always try to strive to put people in districts in which commonalities exist, whether it's geography commonalities, economic commonalities, political commonalities, well, not really, but more like economic. So take a good look at this. This is what we have now. The city of Havre de Grace, for a while now, has been wanting to tighten up these districts and make it more compact and more concise to keep our area of Havre de Grace together, hoping that it would probably help us ensure representation from someone who lives in our area. So we have proposed a map, and we've been working with the city of Aberdeen, Mayor McGrady and his council, and also the town of Bel Air supports this map as well, and I'd like to show you what it looks like. This is the Aberdeen Havre de Grace proposed map. This map was worked on collectively by members of the Havre de Grace City Council, by the members of the Aberdeen City Council, by myself, and by Mayor McGrady from the city of Aberdeen. We've been working on this for quite some time, and we feel that this map would not just do the cities of Havre de Grace and Aberdeen well, we feel like it would do all of Harford County well, should this map be adopted and recommended by the commission and then sent to the county council in final approval. The biggest difference you'll see in this map, unlike the current map that keeps District F, Havre de Grace, and District E, Aberdeen, separate, the biggest thing you'll find out is that this map here combines the two municipalities. The two municipalities in this proposed map are now combined, leaving Riverside and Aberdeen area to a separate district called District E. Also tightening up District C, which is Bel Air. As you can see on the current map, C is a little chopped up itself right here. So District C, Bel Air is more concise, Aberdeen and Riverside is more concise, and all of Havre de Grace and Aberdeen is put together in a much more concentrated area. The whole purpose of this proposed map is to keep communities of similar interests together. So this map was voted on by the City Council at a special council meeting at the end of August, on August 30th, and unanimously was voted on and approved by your Havre de Grace City Council. Just recently, the Aberdeen City Council voted on this map and approved it as well, and we received a letter of support from the city or from the town of Bel Air. We believe that this map would be good for the citizens of Harford County, as it makes sense, and to keep communities together. We believe such rural areas, such as North Harford, should be a more concise district. We believe that areas that have more density population and more urban areas, such as Aberdeen and Havre de Grace, should be together. And also places like Joppatown and Edgewood should be in one district as well and not split up. So these are the things that we wanted to express more clearly to the viewing public, just what it is that we've been pressing for. Now, currently, if you're asking like, well, what could be wrong with this map? Well, first of all, other than the fact that it's kind of all over the place with its focus, currently the city of Havre de Grace has a representative that lives in Aberdeen. The city of Aberdeen has a representative that lives almost in Churchville. The city of Havre de Grace, and since the Board of Ed usually uses our councilmanic districts, the city of Havre de Grace has a Board of Education rep that lives in Aberdeen. And nothing wrong with our good fellow Harford County citizens that live in Aberdeen. Are good people, of course. I have many friends there. But when it comes down to knowing issues of your own community and then having somebody represent you on that dais in Bel Air that is from your area, that knows what it's like to live in Aberdeen or Havre de Grace, these are the things that we're pushing for. These are the things that we believe representative democracy truly means. So this is a very good conceptual map here that your elected officials of Havre de Grace and Aberdeen and the commissioners of Bel Air have supported. And so we submitted it to the Redistricting Commission last week, and Mayor McGrady and I testified and explained that putting our two municipalities together would not be an issue. We also explained that we have a lot in common with Havre de Grace and Aberdeen, especially if you look at one of our newest ventures that we've been working on for the last couple of years is the water line that's going to be built between our two cities. This would establish great revenue for our water and sewer fund. It also establishes a continued water supply for Aberdeen's development. Mayor McGrady and I also testified to the commission that our similarities are unique and our similarities are very great. However, our differences between Aberdeen and Havre de Grace, we believe, are non-competitive. The very natures of our two cities are very different. We are a city that is historic, a city that is located on the Susquehanna River in Chesapeake Bay. We're a city that gets a lot of its driven revenues and property values driven from tourism, outdoor recreational opportunities, boatings, trails, and things like that. We're also heavy in the arts and entertainment district here in the city of Havre de Grace. Aberdeen is the opposite. Aberdeen actually has a lot of industry, manufacturing of Clorox and Frito-Lay and Ripken Stadium, a lot of hotels, a lot of expansion area for growth for the city of Aberdeen. And let's not forget, probably one of the greatest employers in all the state of Maryland, Aberdeen Proving Ground, is located in the city of Aberdeen. So again, we feel our differences are non-competitive, but our similarities are great. And so that is why our legislative bodies agreed to put these two municipalities together, believing that should this map be adopted, that the next representative to the county council would be from either municipality and they would represent us with greater effect. So, how can you get involved? How can you support? There's a website called fairharford.com, fairharford.com, and there is a great explanation from Mayor McGrady with some illustrations and a petition that you can sign online should you want to put your name down as a signal of support for this concept in which we can show the Redistricting Commission for Harford County. fairharford.com. Please go to it to learn more. The way this works is the Redistricting Commission needs to make a recommendation to the Harford County Council by October 1st. So they've been meeting twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, all throughout the month of September. So October 1st is the deadline. Now, the County Council can accept the Commission's proposal or not, or they can come up with their own. The Commission makes a recommendation to the County Council. But I just want everyone to understand what's at stake here, because one of the Commission members, and there's 5 Commission members, by the way, and the way these commissions are drawn up, there's 5 people. The County Council President picks 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and an independent. I'm only showing this as an example of what's at stake, because after we submitted, after Havre, Grace, and Aberdeen submitted our plan, one of the commission members came up with their own plan. And, I mean, they can absolutely come up with any plan they want. They're a commission member. But if you want to know why this is important, if this one commissioner member, Commissioner Roby, if his plan was to pass, then first of all, our 2 municipalities are split up, which is the exact opposite of what all 3 elected governments wanted to begin with. So he splits up Aberdeen and Havre Grace and puts us with a mighty rural area of Harford County. I have a friend who lives right on the border by Sawbulls Market there. He lives right on Constitution Road. He's a good friend of mine. It takes me 45 minutes to drive there. Can you imagine being part of a council district that takes you 45 minutes to go from one place to another? It goes all the way to the Pennsylvania line. Now I ask you, if this map was to be adopted, I seriously doubt that there would ever be anybody from the city of Havre Grace being elected in District D again. So I'm just pointing this out, why these things are important and why people should pay attention. Because this is representative democracy. This is about having your voice heard on the county council. So we hope that the Redistricting Commission rejects such maps as this, and we hope that the Redistricting Commission pays close attention to the elected bodies of Havre Grace, Aberdeen, and the town of Bel Air, and gives great consideration to this map. This map's clean. This map is more focused and concise with its districts. This map makes sense. And this map gives very little regard to partisan politics, which is what it's really supposed to be. It's not supposed to be about Democrat. It's not supposed to be about Republican. It's supposed to be about where you live. It's supposed to be about your community. So, ladies and gentlemen sitting at home, I appreciate your time. I hope that you were able to get an idea of what's at stake here and what we're talking about. Again, this is the current map, and this is the proposed map. And this map over here is just like a map being thrown around that could or couldn't ever become reality. Let's just hope if you live in Havre Grace, it doesn't. So, thank you very much. Harford.org. Or .com, sorry, fairharford.com. If you go to fairharford.com, then it's very explanatory, and there's actually a chance you can sign up and sign a petition. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to item 11, resolutions. This evening, we do have a resolution. Counter resolution concerning license agreement for a sign at 345 Green Street. Councilman Ringsager.
Mr. Mayor, council, citizens at home and here in the audience, I make a motion to introduce a calendar resolution concerning a license agreement for a sign at 345 Green Street.
Council, I have a motion by Councilman Ringsager. Have a second? Second by Councilmember Zinner. Questions or comments? This is to introduce a resolution for a license agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce a resolution concerning a license agreement 345 Green Street. Carry 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this is going to be Resolution 2021-16, a resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre Grace. Pursuant to the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland and Sections 33 and 34 of the City Charter for use of 345 Green Street right-of-way for a freestanding sign. Council, I have a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Ringsager, seconded by Councilman Robertson. Questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Ringsager.
This resolution for the license agreement is for a very nicely done aesthetic sign for Agape Church for their headquarters in those little cottages down at the end of Green Street near the water. There's a dentist's office down there and a few other things. So they want to put up a sign right in front of their business. It's very nice. It's 36 inches by 28 inches. The paperwork that they submitted will also, and the license agreement will include the $50 licensing fee and the 5-year expiration date for December 31st.
Thank you very much, Councilman Ringsager. Questions or any other questions or comments? Council, this is a resolution, so I will do a roll call. This is a roll call on Resolution 2021-16. Councilmember Zinner?
Yes.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Ringsager?
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson?
Yes.
Council President Glenn?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative. Council Resolution 2021-16, which is regards to a sign at 345 Green Street, is adopted by council. Thank you very much, council. Thank you very much, Councilman Ringsager. We're going to go to item 12, ordinances. This evening, we have no ordinances. Item 13, old business. We have no old business this evening. Item 14, new business. We do have a couple items here, and we'll start off with Budget Amendment 2022-05, and this is fund capital projects into the new fiscal year. And I'm going to hand this off to the Chair of the Budget Finance Committee, Councilman Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to approve Budget Amendment 2022-05.
Council, I have a motion by Councilman Robertson. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Council President. Questions or comments? Councilman Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the ladies and gentlemen here and at home, what this is something that we have to do annually. It's things that were in the pipeline to be completed by the end of the fiscal year. So fiscal year 21 ended in June 30th of this past year, just 2 months ago. And the things that weren't able to get completed by then have to be moved into the next fiscal year's budget. So we're basically taking these projects and reallocating funds to finish off projects that weren't completed by the end of June. Mr. Mayor, I have one question, and perhaps you or the Director of Administration can help me out. It talks about the pickleball court and funding for the pickleball court. That's not the same one that was going down at the Lock House, was it?
Steve?
So within the amendment, it is the remaining funds that were going to be used down, excuse me, at Canestio Street at the Exelon property. So we wanted to carry that over in case we can find, either Exelon allows us to continue that project, or the mayor and DPW and the administration is trying to find a secondary site that we could start a pickleball court on. We've got a number of citizens that have been contacting City Hall that there's not enough pickleball space. So it's our hope that we can either convert something easily or within the next few months before the weather breaks, Exelon will give us the thumbs up or thumbs down.
All right, thanks for that, Steve. Yeah, that's really what I was curious about, so appreciate you. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman Robertson. Any other questions and comments from the council? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote on it, and we'll do the number second. How's that sound? Good. Okay. Got a bottle of water, anything you want to drink over there? Okay. All right, council, we're voting on Budget Amendment 2022-05. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Budget amendment is approved, 6-0 in affirmative. Councilman Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, reading the account numbers, I think I need glasses. In the from column, general fund account number 1, 01-0001-49-98, beginning fund balance $332,100. Next line, account number 01-0001-48-34, state grants, $100,000. Next line, account number 01-0001-49-00, restricted fund transfers, critical area, $18,800. For general fund, total amount, $450,900. The next line, Marina Fund 8, account number 08-1809-49-02, beginning fund balance $30,300 for a total for Fund 8 of $30,300. Next line, Water and Sewer Fund 9, account number 09-0001-49-01, beginning fund balance $423,700. Next line, account number 09-0001-49-27, DHCD bond proceeds, $3,784,400 for a total of transfers in the amount of $4,689,300. In the to column, General Fund 1, account number 01-1091-6501, capital equipment trolley, $75,200. Next line, account number 01-1091-6507, city enhancement projects, pickleball court, $35,800. Next line, account number 01-1091-6507, city enhancement projects, Gator Cart, $900. Next line, account number 01-1091-6508, auditorium impact study, $100,000. Next line, account number 01-1251-7013, road repairs, Lewis Lane, $124,700. Next line, account number 01-1251-7013, road repairs, BGE resurfacing, $56,500. Next line, account number 01-1251-7073, MS4 stormwater remediation, $21,300. Next line, account number 01-1251-7084, critical area remediation, $18,800. Next line, account number 01-1251-7087, Lock House Shad Pond, $5,300. And next line, account number 01-1251-7089, Hutchins Park Amenities, $12,400, for a total of Fund 1 transfers in the amount of $450,900. Next line, Marina Fund 8, Account number 08-1839-6501, fuel tank dispensers, $9,800. Next line, account number 08-1839-6501, office building rehab, $20,500. And the total amount of transfers to Marina Fund 8, $30,300. Water and Sewer Fund 9. Account number 09-1231-6501. Finished water pumps 2, $12,300. Next line, account number 09-1231-9024. Wastewater treatment plant upgrades, $387,200. Next line, account number 09-1231-9032. Solids handling facility, $2,100. Next line, account number 09-1232-9047. Fire hydrant replacement program, $22,200. Next line, account number 09-1232-9048. Water line upgrade, Wilson Street, $473,500. Next line, account number 09-1232-9051. Water main replacement, Route 40, $2,157,200. Next line, account number 09-1232-9056. Commerce Street sewer line, $713,100. Next line, account number 09-1232-9057, Old Bay Lane Water Main Extension, $215,800. Next line, account number 09-1245-9037, Wastewater Treatment Plant Skater Repairs, $2,000. Next line, account number 09-1245-9043, National Guard Pump Station Rehab, $63,600. Next line, account number 09-1245-9044, Odor Control Upgrade, $126,400. Next line, account number 09-1245-9045, Scum Line Extension, $10,500. Next line, account number 09-1245-9046, Woods Pump Station, $22,200 for a total amount in Fund 9 of $4,208,100 and a total amount of transfers in the amount of $4,689,300. I'm pretty sure that you're punking me with this. Like, we don't need to read all this.
I'm sorry, what was that middle one again? Councilmember Robertson, thank you very much. Mr. DeHorty, is that all straight? Yes, sir, it is. Councilmember Martin?
Question, maybe a friendly amendment on Water and Sewer Fund 9, the second item ending in 9024. I believe Jason said wastewater treatment plant, and it's actually the water treatment
Plant.
with the dollar value of $387,000. I just want to make sure it's correct.
Any objections, Councilmember Robertson?
No objections, Mr. Mayor. I don't have to read that again.
Water treatment plant, okay.
Sounds good.
Let the record reflect, WTP, water treatment plant upgrades, $387,200. Thank you, Councilmember Martin. And again, thank you, Councilmember Robertson.
Yep.
Item B, special events, Recreation Committee for the Halloween costume contest, and Director of Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Before you this evening, you have one special event application. This is for the annual Havre Grace Rec Committee's Halloween contest. You'll note that it's on the 10th of October from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. There'll be a setup from 2 p.m. and a tear down at 9. Now, this year's submittal is a little bit different than years past, and I would ask Council to consider, because we believe they may wind up changing back to the original plan. And if you recall, the original plan was for the street closure from Congress Avenue to Pennington Avenue along that block of Washington Street. And we'd have the children would come out and they do the parade and the judging and so forth. Seemed like that worked pretty well. The Rec Council is asking, they're going to augment that and they just want Pennington Avenue shut down between Lodge Lane and Washington Street, which is about a half a block. We feel like it might be a little bit too compact, but we just would like council to be open that if in fact the rec council comes back and wants to go back to the normal Halloween contest and parade, that we would be open to allowing that to occur. With that said, everything else is pretty much the same. The call sheets on the back page with police costs at $5,085, DPW costs at $528. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amatoria. Council, I have a motion to approve the Halloween costume contest.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Ringsacker, seconded by Councilmember Zinner. Questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer?
We're not quite sure.
Would council have any objections, as Mr. Gamatoria asked, that if conditions warrant and the rec committee comes back to us and says, hey, maybe we want to make it look like it used to, would you guys have any objections if we did that administratively?
No.
Okay.
Very good. Thank
On
you.
the record that we're in agreement? Not saying they will,
Right.
but just in case they say, I think we can pull off a regular size parade, so just, okay. We know how things can change, and we just want to work with the rec committee because we're working with kids.
Yeah.
So, and we know how kids like that costume parade, so. Thank you, Councilmember Boyer. Any other questions or comments? Yeah, they are wearing masks. Okay, all right, this is for the Halloween costume contest, October 30th, 2021. 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Pennington Avenue, between Lodge Lane and Washington Street. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, Halloween costume parade is approved. Thank you. Item 15, Director's Report. We're going to move on to Director of Administration.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. Just a few things, and for the general public, the Susquehanna River Running Festival and the Wine and Seafood Festival will be this weekend. The Running Festival is on Saturday. The Wine Festival is on the Saturday and Sunday. So we are looking for an action-packed weekend. I think the Running Festival, the last number I heard, Captain Alton, that like up to maybe 700 runners.
As of this afternoon, yes, sir, just around
700. The run will actually take place and go through Concord Point, so down around the Wine and Seafood Festival. So that'll be taking place this weekend. Next weekend, when we get into this October the 10th, I'm sorry, October the 2nd, the Autumn Festival, then followed by, on the 9th, the Pride Festival, and then followed by the Oktoberfest, and then wind up October with the art show. And this year, the art show is later in the year, and it'll be at both Concord Point Park and down at Tidings Park. So we got an action-packed next 30 or so days coming up.
And don't forget about Refuel for School, too.
Refuel for School with, and under your comments, I'm sure you're going to let all the possible participants know what type of entertainment you're going to have down there. I thought that was very different and a good attraction, so we'll see. Just a few other things, Council, and for the general public. We did have a work session on Thursday night, and the city, the city council and the administration discussed legislative priorities that will be coming up in this upcoming session. We had a follow-up meeting this morning with the legislative group with the Harford County Chamber of Commerce, and relayed those same objectives with them, and we always have a good partner with the chamber moving forward as we get prepared for the legislative session. And I think, other than just mentioning that we had a successful Relay for Life that occurred this past weekend, and I think I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gamatoria. We're going to go on to the Department of Planning, and Ms. Diane Clare is filling in for Director Shane Grimm. Good evening, Ms. Clare.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Thank you for your consideration of the critical area ordinance and the state digital maps. I'm looking forward to having that effort completed. This was from the public hearing earlier tonight. And also, I wanted to let everybody know I attended a meeting of Harford 250 Committee this past Thursday with Jean Johnson, who's chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. It's worth tuning into this. It'll be a celebration of the creation of a separate Harford County from Baltimore County in 1773, which was formally enacted in 1774. This series of events will be starting in 2023. It is intended to be a year-long series of events, and right now they are collecting short stories of 2,000 words or less by December 31st. And I'd love to see Havre Grace represented in those stories. They're short stories, a series of essays that they want to publish. You can check out the website at harford250.org. And these series of events will flow straight into our National 250 anniversary in 2026, America 250. So that's all I have for the Department of Planning right now. Keep it short. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ms. Clare. Thank you for being here this evening. I'd like to welcome Ms. Bridget Johnson, Director of Economic Development.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and the general public. A couple updates tonight. One, another friendly reminder to mark your calendar for the week of October 25th through the 29th. It is Maryland Economic Development Week, Business Appreciation Week in the city of Havre de Grace. I promise to have a schedule to Mayor and Council by mid-October, letting you know which businesses we will be visiting, because the majority of them will be during business hours or during work hours, possibly with an event on that Friday in the evening. I know everyone has participated in these types of events before in the past, so it's Business Appreciation Week for the state of Maryland. Let me see. We have launched our City of Havre de Grace Economic Development Facebook page and our Instagram page. I invited everyone on Mayor and Council to follow us. Please do. We're trying to build our following and utilize social media to share information about upcoming events, local businesses, new openings, hopefully no closings, and everything going on economic development-wise within the city. On Saturday, State Comptroller Peter Francho joined Mayor Bill Martin and Council President Glenn for a walking tour of the downtown Main Street District. We visited Abbey Burger and Battery Island Brewing, and also the Director of Administration. Sorry, Steve Gamatoria. Didn't want to leave you out. We visited those two businesses. The purpose of the business was to learn about our local economy, in our upcoming projects and events. And we spent about an hour with the State Comptroller. The visit went well. He promises to come back, so we look forward to another visit. Wanda Boker is our Sustainable Economic Development Consultant to my office, or to the Department of Economic Development. She is currently pursuing 3 grants, one at the federal level and 2 state grants. All 3 are for renewable energy and water-based recreational projects. We met with Patrick Seipold and Steve Gamatoria this week. We are going to be pursuing a grant for the construction of a pier, of a transient pier at the bottom of Green Street, with the cost of possibly $500,000. So this is one of the largest grants that we have ever written for, and the first grant written out of economic development to the federal government. We are also looking to extend our electric trolley fleet, but this time with a van/bus. This is also a large item ticket. We are writing a grant. There is no cost to the city. We will either win or lose, but the van seats 17 people, and it can travel on roads over 25 miles an hour, which is our limit now with our electric trolleys. So therefore, we will be able to cross Route 40 and possibly go up into, I don't like to the other part of Havre de Grace. To the hill. We're one community, but to the hill. And last, I'm building the infrastructure to give short data reports to you every 2 weeks or whenever you need them. So I had 3 calls this week from entrepreneurs showing interest in locating in the city of Havre, which is great. I'm trying to build the infrastructure to track these calls as well as follow through with helping them with their business plan. A lot of the calls that we receive are, we love your city, it's beautiful, it's on the water, what do you want me to open there? So I'm gonna help them a little bit more with their business plans. Our goal for business retention, Councilman Boyer, I know you was interested in this, starting in November, is for my office to visit at least 2 businesses a week. If anyone would like to join me, I will have a schedule for everyone. That is part of, we're always trying to attract new businesses to the city, and that is great. But we must also recognize and support our businesses that have always been here, that continue to support us. We have to make another effort bringing the industrial park into the loop. I feel as though, talking to some of the businesses out there, we know they're here, we know they exist, but sometimes they feel as though they're a little left out. We spend a lot of time on other areas in the city, so I really want to make some headway into the industrial park. So those visits will start in November. I welcome the mayor, council, anyone that wants to attend those visits with my department to join us, and I will send you a schedule. That is all I have for this evening. George said I had 2 minutes. I went into 4. Hopefully, that's appropriate.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Johnson, for a thorough update. Mr. Horty, Director of Finance, you got 2 minutes.
Good evening, sir. I would like to yield my time, but I wasn't left enough. First of all, council, thank you for the budget amendment and to move these things forward and to complete those contracts that we had entered into or adjust them, like the contract that Councilman Robertson brought up, where we have an open contract. We still would, may have to do other things with it, but we have an agreement in place, so it's important that those get moved forward. Now for the condition of the funds, the general fund is sitting at just over 10.3 million. It's just under 1.8 million ahead of the budget. I need to caution that the budget amendment you just did will make these comparisons to budget change with the next report. So if you see them change, it's just because we moved those projects into the current year. The beginning balance was 1.57 ahead of expectations, and I think the budget amendment will reduce that by about $330,000. The salaries and benefits continue because of the vacancies we've been experiencing. We're $250,000 below budget. Grants, which are mostly tied to capital projects already in the budget, are running about $170,000 behind where we thought we would be. As most people know, getting contractual work, new contractual work, is getting harder and harder as both materials and labor are becoming scarcer resources, especially with the flood of federal money and everybody tying up what resources there are. So it's a good problem to have economically, but it can be difficult if you haven't ordered all your stuff yet. And finally, real property tax billings, as I reported last year, are just over 90,000 ahead of where we thought we would be. The water and sewer fund, the fund balance is sitting at just under $700,000. It's increased $1.4 million for the year. The operating profit is a little over $950,000, and we've collected a little over $900,000 in additional capital fees. Nice job planning. Capital projects and debt service payments for the year so far have been a little over $430,000, which accounts for the fund balance increase. The Marina Fund, the fund balance is sitting at just under $870,000. It's decreased about $85,000 for the year. That can be attributed to two primary things. We recently did some major fuel purchases, so they're running about 55,000 over the budget expectation, which is not quite so choppy as what reality is. And capital projects are about $33,400 that are eating into that beginning, that fund balance, but that was all part of the budget, so it's operating as planned. And I think I kept it to under 2 minutes, and that is the conclusion of my report.
Your watch broke.
Mr. Doherty, thank you very much for the update on city finances. Appreciate it. And about 2 minutes and 15 seconds, but that's okay. I'm just joking. No, thank you. Mr. Doherty, you can take as long as you want, anytime you want. You know that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Whitty, good evening, sir. Department of Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Couple projects, Girard Street project, that drainage project was completed last week. So we just have to wait for the major rainstorm to see it works. But it is designed and in the ground, and we are working on the utility plats with the property owners to acquire the public utility plats to allow us to provide maintenance in there. On a sidebar with that project, we are working with Underwood as a project for flood control along Lily Run. That project starts at the Evonic site, past Revolution, behind the elementary school, and then follows the properties that are along Wilson Street all the way to Seneca. So we've got the concept plan put together, and we're going to be in the stages of meeting with the property owners to secure their approval before moving forward with the engineering on that project. We are partnering with the Harford County Department of Public Works with them, basically as a cost share with the credits, and so we're working with them on that project. The St. Francis Street sewer project has been completed. I have to finalize a few more plats. I've got maybe 2 or 3 property owners that haven't returned the plats, and then I'll get those to April, and then we'll get those recorded. Commerce Street, the lining portion of the project's complete, and they're in the process of digging up remainder of Commerce Street and replacing the existing sewer with new 12-inch sewer. We did sign a notice to proceed and award to Gettner. We are going to piggyback on their contract with Harford County, and so we're going to have 3 paving projects. We have Seneca from Revolution to Wilson, Clark Lane, and then Erie Street to 5, 6, and 700 blocks. We'll be moving on that. They should be starting in the next 3 weeks. Budget came in for that project. We had allocated $450,000. The budget came in at $409,000. But we'll probably use those extra funds to do things like replace curbs and the sidewalks and things like that are along these streets that we see, instead of just paving the road. So we'll be using that money towards that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Whitty, thank you very much for the update. Appreciate it. And we're going to go over to Captain Alton. How's the police department doing?
Things are good. Good evening, Mayor and members of council. My comments this evening are actually sort of a follow-up to Mr. Gamatoria's comments regarding the running festival this Saturday. What I would emphasize to the citizens and everyone throughout the town, for that matter, is that event's going to have numerous road closures and traffic disruptions as a result of it, beginning as early as 6:30 in the morning, and hopefully will be picked back up as early as noon. But my point in bringing that up is I would ask that everyone obviously exercise a lot of patience as they traverse around the course that involves. And then obviously, please, safety-wise, there's going to be, as we spoke, the organizers are hoping for up to 800 runners participating in that event, but right now at least probably 700 plus individuals running through the streets. And so again, just a little bit of patience goes a long ways, and that event should be handled quite safely. So that is it.
Very good. Thank you, Captain Alton. Appreciate the update. Hopefully everything go real smooth. Thank you. We're going to go to item 16 this evening, business from the mayor's office. A couple of comments. So the city of Havre was really hopping this past weekend. On the 18th and 19th, we had farmers market going on. We had the Pyrex Festival down on Washington and Pennington Avenues, which was great. Of course, we always have the The Cat Club was always out on Saturday morning, clean up the city. We had the Relay for Life taking place. So there's all kind of things going on in the city this past weekend. And I couldn't do everything. I did most of it. But one thing I did do on Friday night is I went to the Opera House to see SpongeBob the Musical. And I'm telling you, that was probably one of the best productions I've ever seen in that building. Miss Bambi Johnson, who is with the Havre Grace Alliance and just an all-around good person, is the director and choreographer of that play. And what she was able to do in that space with her decor on the walls and the ceilings and the stage and the audience participation was very Disney-like, Disney-esque. And so there's one more showing this weekend, Friday night, and then you have a Saturday matinee, Saturday night, and then Sunday matinee. So if you're looking for something to do, and you got kids, grandkids, or even if you're like kind of like newly freed up parents, but you remember the old days of SpongeBob, it was great. So it was wonderful to see. It was wonderful to see a full crowd at the Opera House again. So this weekend coming up, as Director of Administration Mr. Gamatoria said, we had the running festival in the morning on Saturday, and then we had the Wine and Seafood Festival at Concord Point Park. They're all going to be great events for our city. The Wine and Seafood Festival, I think, is going to be, hopefully, it'll be a new tradition in the city of Havre de Grace. So if you're looking for something to do in the city of Havre de Grace, come on down to Concord Point Park and have a great time. Lots of wine, lots of seafood. And of course, Oktoberfest will be October 16th at Concord Point Park this year. So free admission to the Oktoberfest, and come down and enjoy it. Hear the German music, German food if you don't like German food, ice cold beverages, and good times. So a lot of things going on in Havre de Grace, a lot of good positive stuff, which probably is no surprise why the state comptroller, Mr. Francho, stopped by again. The Havre de Grace in his travels, and he's spent a nice hour, a little over an hour with us. And our comptroller really, really enjoys Havre de Grace. He gets up here a couple times a year, and he always says, this city is doing great. It's thriving. It's doing things right. He keeps saying the phrase, you guys are doing things right. So it's always a pleasure to see that level of elected official come to our city on a regular basis and check in on us. And he's always been a good representative for us in Annapolis when we need help. And so we were very appreciative of his time up here. So with that said, please be mindful. COVID is still an issue in Harford County. Harford County averages maybe 50 or so cases a day. Havre de Grace is averaging a couple cases a day when you get on the Harford County Health Department website. It's still around. We all know. I'm not here to lecture anybody. Just want everybody to be careful. I want everybody to be vaccinated and, just be vigilant against this. And, slowly, hopefully, we're heading towards a valley. Ever since March of 2020, COVID goes in peaks and valleys. And hopefully we're valleying now soon, hopefully. So don't like to hear news of, you don't like to hear the news of the young kids getting it. But apparently this Delta variant is a lot more contagious. So just be careful, everybody. And with that said, I just want to remind everybody one more time, this evening was the first evening we did this, where we combined our citizen comments on the agenda to early on in the agenda. We used to have comments from citizen items, or comments from agenda items early in the council meeting, and then comments on other city business at the end. So this evening was the first time we changed it. And so moving forward, if you're listening to this in TV land and you want to come to a council meeting in the future, please know you need to get here early, because item 6 on the agenda, which rolls pretty quick, is going to be comments on any city business. So it could be comments on agenda items. It could be comments on any other matter of city business which you wish to address to mayor, council, or the staff. So that's just a little heads up. But anyway, lots of stuff happening in Havre de Grace. It's a good time to be here. The best is yet to come. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And I'm going to start off with business from the council. We're going to go to Councilmember Robertson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, city staff, ladies and gentlemen here and at home. Just a couple things. Number one is also on September 25th. Just want to make folks aware that the Havre de Grace Youth Commission is sponsoring the Refuel for School event at Hutchins Park from 3 to 7 p.m. Again, September 25th, Refuel for School. What it is a festival for kids and teens. There'll be activities, back to school giveaways. There's a few performances by some adolescents as well as adults. So it should be a good time. It's a free event. So if you're not busy with the other things, head on down there and check it out. September 25th, also, Josh Christina Trio is playing at the American Legion in Havre de Grace. It's dinner and a show. Dinner starts at 5. The show starts at 8 p.m. So dinner, show, draft beer, and it's, I guess, box wine for $35, so you can't beat that. October 9th, at the American Legion will be the crab feast starting at 12 p.m. Tickets are available on the lounge, online and at the lounge. Again, October 9th is the American Legion crab feast, so check that out online or at the lounge. I appreciate the mayor doing the presentation today. I think it is important that the community at large understands what the redistricting commission is tasked with and what our district could look like in our representation. I think the mayor, definitely hit a good point that we want to make sure that in a representative democracy that all folks with a common goal or common interest in a common region or a common location are being represented adequately. And that's not always the case, especially because other factors are considered. Mostly political parties, the political process doesn't always lend itself to what's the most pragmatic approach to good policy or good representation. So I really hope that the commission takes advantage of what the cities of Havre de Grace and Aberdeen and Bel Air have come up with. And I hope that the citizens will make their point and their process known. And with that, Mr. Mayor, that's it.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. Councilmember Martin.
Good evening, Mayor, Council President, Council, citizens. To follow up on both the mayor's and Jason's comment, we're also concerned about, we talk about the school redistricting and what's happening there. You want your voices heard, these redistricting, make sure we get a representative on the school board that actually lives in our district. And that's kind of what we're talking about, is having a voice, not someone who's not familiar with our area. So it's important that we get that. Second, if you want to post some things on social media, post that you're a friend. Post that you're out there. If someone has a problem, that they can reach out to you. That's important. We talk about the addictions and we talk about suicide. We need to be the ones that step forward and actually tell people, you need me, I'm there, give me a call. With that, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Martin. Good evening, Councilmember Ring-Socker.
Mr. Mayor, no comment.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Ring-Socker. It all balances out. Good evening, Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, everybody. I want to let you all know that last Friday, I'm double checking my dates to make sure I got, nope, on the 10th, I met with our chair of the Street and Traffic Safety Committee and Councilman Beulah, members of the State Highway and MTA about a couple of intersection problems that we have in Havre de Grace. You all are going to nod your head when I talk about it. First one is we met at the Burger King and we talked about Route 40 and Lewis Lane. The fact that there's a problem there with our students now that we have the middle school and high school located there, walking across Route 40. Not to mention everybody else, since Havre de Grace is a walkable community and we have a lot of people who walk to the grocery store, et cetera, that crossing 40 there is perilous at times. At that particular intersection, there's not even a crosswalk. We do have signaling devices there, so that if you get stuck in the middle, which happens time to time, depending on when you can cross due to the crossing traffic, sometimes you get stuck in the middle. There are signaling devices to help you get the other way across. But again, there's nothing to really protect the pedestrian and provide a safe location to walk across. I believe that is something that State Highway is going to prioritize for us. They said they would get back to us in the next couple of weeks. In addition to that, we talked about further down, which we all term lovingly the crazy intersection at 40 and Ostego, where 5 places converge at once. They recognize that as a priority. We've had a lot of discussions within council about how we can help elevate it in the prioritization calculations that the state has. But they do recognize that as an issue. They came to us with a study that they had recently done. Mr. Woody is reviewing it. We're also going to take it to the Street and Traffic Safety Committee for them to provide comment to it. I'm not going to say that any of their suggestions are wonderful things that are going to save and protect the whole problem, and because it's I don't think that's where we are yet. I think there's still a lot more that needs to be done to it. But I wanted to let you all know that they are aware of it. We are moving forward on it. And again, like I said to the gentleman for the marina, bringing these things up to our county and state officials helps. Absolutely bring them to your members of city council, but the more we elevate and communicate it up the chain, it helps as far as funding and prioritization and having people advocate for the programs. Other things that we talked about were safe, what do they call it? Safe routes to school, recognizing that crossing there at 40 could be a potential for funding for safe routes for school. I know it's something that here we in Havre have identified a couple of locations where we don't have sidewalks, and now with the new school being located, the high school being located where it is, that we need to complete the sidewalk paths. I joke in my family that I know where the sidewalk ends, and there's several places here in Havre that the sidewalk ends. So that's the big things for what we did on Friday. I participated in the river sweep at Tidings. We probably had about 25 people come out, and again, the Cat Club were fabulous, but we had a lot of other people who came out. I went out in my kayak and picked up a lot of bottles and stuff. The most interesting thing I picked up 2 interesting things. I picked up a propane tank. I pulled that out of the river by Tidings, and I also picked up a pirate hat. So it's kind of different things up there. Relay for Life, that was great. Walking around. If you ever have a chance to go, participate at 9 o'clock in the evening. That's when they turn the lights out, and they have luminaries that go around the circle. And it's a very reverent time just to be thoughtful of those who have passed on and who have lost their battle to cancer. It's a very poignant experience. And finally, in regards to next weekend, one of the greatest things we can do here in the city of Havre de Grace is share with everyone how wonderful our city is. Stopping and talking to them, sharing the history of Havre de Grace, why Havre de Grace is so special. We're going to have a lot of people here, and just as the captain said, please be considerate. Show them how we respect people in crosswalks and stopping for them in crosswalks, but also explain to them how wonderful and special Havre de Grace is, because that's how our town thrives and grows, and why so many people want to live here and be part of what makes us special. And that's it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. Good evening, Councilmember Zinner.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council, citizens. I just want to give a shout out to the Arts Commission for the wonderful job this weekend they did with the Children's Art Festival. Unfortunately, we couldn't have it last year, but this year they certainly made up. We figure there might be somewhere between 150 and 200 children that were actually in attendance at the Arts Festival. There was lots of entertainment, from animals to face painters, balloon artists, and we had a magician that did 3 shows, and he was excellent with connecting with the kids and getting them involved in his magic act. One of the other things that we had was a artist exhibit, and the artists were broken up into age ranges from pre-K to kindergarten, first grade, second and third grade, and fourth and fifth grade. And we had local celebrity artists who judged the drawings, Ezra Berger, Pam Wild, and Kamari Smith. The library was quite helpful in handing out the materials prior to the festival, and then we were able to put them on easels and display them. And then our judges were able to pick first place winners. But everyone, I think, all the children, I think, felt like a winner because they got ribbons and they got little certificates, basically, to go to the Petit Bijou for macarons. But what was interesting from where I was standing and handing out things was the children that would come up, and I could see the board for the pre-K and kindergarten and first grade, and when they would come up and they would see their pictures displayed and their little ribbons, regardless of whether they were first place or recognition, they were so excited, and their parents were equally excited to take a picture with them. So that was really nice to see. So I just wanted to let everybody know who the winners were. For kindergarten, it was pre-K and kindergarten was Amara Boyle, first grade Valerie Miller, third grade Hannah Busa, and fifth grade Chloe Wen. And the pictures are being displayed in the library until this Saturday. So if anyone has a chance to go and see these young artists and their drawings, I think that would be much appreciated. And I want to also reach out to the library again and thank them for everything they did to help bring this about, as far as the individual art and helping us get those children an opportunity to show their talents. And that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Zinner. Business from the Council President. Good evening, Council President Glenn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and fellow council members. First, I want to send my sympathies out to the family of Joseph Wedge Harden. Wedge is a personal friend of mine, and he was a member of the Little League Hall of Fame. He loved the Little League program. He was just couldn't wait for Tag Day every year to give back to the kids. And from this Little League coach, you're going to be sorely missed. I want to give a shout out and special thanks to the Susquehanna Hose Company. On September the 8th, they had a fire truck parade on Anderson Avenue in honor of my dad for his 88th birthday and 70 years as a volunteer fireman. And I'm going to tell you up front, nobody but nobody could wipe the smile off his face. He was so excited, and what you did on that night was give my dad a memory that he will cherish forever. So to Susquehanna Hose Company, to Chief Hirsch, President Miller, and all the members, thank you so much from my family. I want to thank Mayor Martin and Adam Rosinski on all their efforts relative to the redistricting. They went up and they really articulated the Havre Grace position. And the one thing that you have to walk away with is they asked the question at night, well, what's changed? What's changed over 10 years? And my position was, well, let me explain to you that not only is District F represents Havre Grace on the county council, they represent Havre Grace on the Board of Education. And when they had balancing enrollment changes and they were going to move our kids out of the Havre Grace School District, they had me on speed dial. And I reached out to our Board of Education representative on more than one occasion. And I got to tell you, I have yet to get a response. And that's what's changed. That's what's concerning me is we need to ensure that when they draw those lines, that we have adequate representatives for our Havre de Grace community to address the challenges that we face each and every day. Somebody that's going to speak up and be a voice for the Havre de Grace community. And when you look back at the fact that I'm reaching out to a board member and not getting a response, that should concern each and every one of us. So I want to thank the mayor and Adam again for what you did, and let's keep our fingers crossed that when they draw those lines, that they draw it in such a way that we have adequate representation, because I think that's important for this community. And last but not least, it's so great to see our high school teams back on the athletic field. By them being on the athletic field, that gives me a chance to talk about Warrior Proud moments. And this is what's happened since the last meeting. Our girls field hockey team beat Edgewood 2-1. The girls varsity volleyball team beat Joppatown 3-1. The girls JV volleyball team beat Joppatown 2-0. The boys JV volleyball team beat Pattersonville 2-1. Girls varsity soccer beat Perryville 2-1. Boys varsity soccer beat Bow Manor 3-0. And our boys varsity football team beat Rising Sun 34-6 and Bow Manor 21-6. And they start the season out as 3-0. And that just comes to one conclusion: Warrior proud, Grace on top. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have to say.
Good job, CP. Thank you very much for the update and the comments. And I appreciate you being there for support at those redistricting commission meetings. Thank you for making it up there. We're going to go to item number 18, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn this
So
meeting?
moved.
Second. Motion by the council president, second by Councilmember Ringslayer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Time is now 8:58. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening, be safe, and we'll see you around town.